Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank. Equity Bank, empowering Kenyans to drive Kenya.
It's been said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, we look at financial planning in business. Don't go away. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our guest tonight is Gidra Fluta. He's the proprietor of EDONAI Caterers and event organizers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's exciting to have a male caterer on the show. I've actually interviewed someone in the same business before, but it was a lady, so it's nice to have the other side represented. Tell us about EDONAI.
Thank you very much for first inviting me on this program. I'm very delighted and honored. EDONAI Caterers was started in the year 2005. We started off by venturing into specifically catering business, where we've catered for various kind of occasions, ranging from weddings to private functions in the homes, and now we have moved even up to corporate functions.
How did you actually start the business?
To begin with, I've been in the hotel industry for quite some time, so it is something that I love. I love hospitality industry, specifically catering. When I left school first, that's high school, I was employed in a restaurant. I started off as a waiter. Before I even trained in that field, that was my first employment job. I worked as a waiter for about 3 to 4 years. Then after which I left, and then I went to Italy. I did food and beverage production at Italy College. After that, of course, I came back again into employment. I've been into employment as a waiter. I rose through the ranks. I became a restaurant manager. And then after that, I thought it was time I had to begin something of my own.
Did your dream of, starting up this business come from the opportunities you got working in the industry, or did it come from, somewhere else?
This has been a long time dream. Since I was in high school, actually, I had a lot of interest in food. I remember having this a home science project where I came up with a coffee cake, and I started baking and cooking right from high school. So you can see my interest actually was not just instigated by the mere job opportunity or business opportunity that I got. It's actually something that I love. It's something that I've loved all my life.
So how was EDONAI born?
From the first job I did. Of course, now I thought like, wow, I can do this. And given the fact that I was not in employment, and I wanted something to give me an income, so I decided let me just start doing catering for people. So I started by cooking for people in their houses, just small jobs. Then with time, slowly, I started getting bigger jobs. So from cooking for 10 to 15 people at home, they started coming graduation parties. Then the first one was when somebody approached me to cook for them for their wedding. I was like, wow, cooking for a wedding for about 300 people. It was overwhelming. I thought, I'm only used to cooking for 15, 20 people. How do I make food for 300 people? So when I did my first wedding, actually, which was very successful, I'll remember that. From then, that is when I decided, no, I think this business looks like it can do well.
So were you the chef?
I am a very good chef. I know how to cook. I make real good food. So I've been cooking on my own. So what I did is I would get a few people who are also in the same industry, like waiters or rather chefs as well. Then we would work together. I would come up with the menu. I would be the main person. But then I'll get in other people whom now I would give to instructions, and then we can work together and come up with a nice production.
Tell us about EDONAI now. What kind of structure do you have? What services do you provide?
EDONAI now, of course, now coming from after where I had just left, we were finished with the wedding part. Now I realized that it's important to come up with something strong, something that can sell itself. So that is how we ended up having EDONAI. We ended up going to register the business as a company. So EDONAI is registered as a business. And then under EDONAI, I realized there are a lot more of things that we can do just apart from the catering. So you realize EDONAI right now, it has, we do catering services, we plan for events, and we also do wedding planning actually.
When you talk about catering, what are the products that your catering business offers?
Yeah, when we talk about catering, actually, we are talking all the way from, we're talking of things like breakfast. We do breakfasts, we do lunches, we do luncheons, we do dinners, we do cocktail parties, we do weddings, wedding receptions, and wedding evening dinner parties as well. So what happens is we are able to work with the client. We are able to work with the client, come up with a menu that they want. We have our own preset menus. But in the event that the client is not pleased or does not want to go by our menu, we can work with her or him and come up with a menu that is going to suit them, that is going to suit that particular function.
Maybe you can expand on what some of the marketing techniques that EDONAI uses to get its clientele.
The very important one that we have applied is by making good food and giving good services. That is number one. Because if I put good food on your plate, all right, you'll definitely notice. And then besides that, what we've done also is through distributions of our flyers and our business cards. That is how we market ourselves. But for us, our most marketing place is when we are having a function. It's from that function. We've always endeavored that on every function that we have, we get at least another 1 or 2 clients from them.
So how do you ensure that your food is actually the quality that you desire? Are you still the chief chef? Do you still cook?
Once in a while, yes. I would cook because it's something that I love. But I must say we have grown. And where we have reached now, we have our own cooks, we have our own chefs. We're able to hire chefs, professional chefs. That is one way we ensure quality food. You know, once we put in professionals, they know exactly what the client wants and what is needed out there in the market.
We need to take a short break now, but when we return, you'll tell us more about EDONAI. Stay with us.
Kenya, a land of delightful agricultural produce. Agriculture is the cornerstone of Kenya's economy, employing 8 out of every 10 Kenyans and earning the country half of its export earnings. Kenya's cash crops of coffee, tea, tobacco, cotton, sisal, pyrethrum, fruit, flowers, vegetables, and cashew nuts continue to win accolades amongst the best produce worldwide. Equity Bank has been supporting and motivating farmers all over Kenya since 1984, empowering them to drive the Kenyan economy. It's another reason we are proud to be Kenyan. Equity Bank, the listening, caring financial partner.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Tonight we're speaking to Gidraff Luta. He's the proprietor of EDONAI Caterers and event organizers. Welcome back. Before we went on the break, you were sharing with us the history of your business and the services that you offer. I'm wondering about challenges. What are some of the challenges that you have faced?
First, I must say I really appreciate having faced challenges because one, challenges make you grow, challenges make you learn. The greatest challenges that we've faced, both in coming up and even as of where we are, number one is competition. There's a lot of stiff competition in the market. So unless you make your services quality and up to date, you're not able to stay in the market. Secondly, it's been challenging also working with other people. You realize that now as we are growing, you have to get on people and pay them to do the job. They may not do it as good as you would have done it. There are some things that are not done the way I want them done. That's another challenge that I face. The greatest challenge I faced is I really sourced a lot of equipment. You get like every job I have to go and source for the chafing dishes. I have to source for sufurias because I didn't have mine. I had to source for a lot of things. I didn't have uniform then. I did not have. Sometimes you'd source or you ask people to come with them. Those are some of the challenges that I've met.
How do you get a client to trust you?
You see, number one, when you're getting into business, and especially this being a hospitality industry, in business, you must be, number one, you must be an outgoing person for you to get businesses. If you're a quiet person, okay, you may be quiet, but maybe you have other strengths in you. But I believe in business, you have to talk. For you to get business, you must talk. And when you're talking, you must talk good. Don't just talk, but you have to talk good. So for me, I would say it has worked for me. I am able to talk to a client, convince this client that what I'm promising you is what I'm going to give you. You have to talk to a client and convince the client. You have to speak in a manner that is going to give confidence to the client that this person is able to deliver.
Tell me about lessons learned.
One lesson I've learned is I have to keep timing. Especially for my business, it's about time. If it's lunch, if you're serving lunch, you're actually serving lunch and not late lunch. One of the lessons that I've also learned actually is in terms of planning finances. Initially, I had lots of problems when it came to planning because clients would pay me up money and I would not handle it in the right manner. Number one, I never used to keep my books. So it was really a blow to me. At the end of the day, I would find that I've done a business. Yes, I've done a job, I've done a big job, but then I don't have the money. The monies have been poorly misplaced. Like, I end up using monies. I didn't realize that actually that was business money. I tended to treat it like it was my money as well. But then it reached a level where I have to realize that my money and the business money are two different. With time now, I've actually learned that now the monies that I get from the business, I'm able to put them separately aside for the business and not for personal use.
What advice would you give someone watching who wants to get into your business?
The advice I may want to give to anybody who is out there and who may want to venture into this business, number one, it's not just about the business. It's not just about you making the money. First of all, create the love for it. Because what I've discovered is once you love something, you give it all your heart. So that even when you're turning it into a business, you do it with such a passion that when the outcome, when the outcome is actually inevitable, it's good, it can be seen. So young guys who are there, I just want to encourage them that you are able to do it, but make sure that when you venture into it, you're giving it your best. You're giving it your best, and don't just stay there and wait for money or for capital. You can start off by, first of all, establish your clientele. You first of all establish a need. There has to be a need. Have you seen a need somewhere that you are able to meet that need? Once you see the need, then you ask yourself, how am I going to meet the need? Then you start off and you hit on.
5 years from now, where do you see EDONAI?
We are looking forward to having a restaurant because we do not have a restaurant now. But within our 5-year term plan, we plan to have a restaurant.
Gidraf, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. It's always, wonderful to see young people rising up to the challenge of creating employment for others and moving into business passionately. I wish you well with EDONAI.
Thank you.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. When we return, we'll be speaking to a consultant on how to manage our finances. Don't go away.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank. Equity Bank, empowering Kenyans to drive Kenya.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our consultant tonight is Daniel Muli. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tonight we're talking about finances in business, and a lot of people, especially SMEs, have challenges when it comes to separating personal and business money. Maybe we can start there.
Right. I believe a SME has been defined as small and medium enterprises. It's true, a lot of people would like to start their small businesses, focus mainly for the business to help them run their lives. And at some point in time, they forget that the business needs to be stable to be able to help them run their lives. A good example is if you're milking a cow, you must feed it. The interesting items that people a lot of times are unable to separate their financial needs with ability to have enough reserves to keep their businesses going on, to keep it alive, to keep on supporting them. If you overdraw too much from a business, surely it will not be able to support you in future. It's important to know what the business requires and what you need, and you see whether the total sum of your needs and the business needs can be met by the business.
How does somebody in business, get to the point where, like the example you've used, you bought a cow to sustain you and then you're no longer feeding it? How do we get there?
When you start a business, normally you have what we call a venture capital, or money to help you start the business, to pay the initial expenses before the business starts generating enough returns to sustain itself. The capital is like the backbone of the business. Now, that is not supposed to be drawn out. It's supposed to help to sustain the business until such a time when the business is able to support itself.
When I speak to a lot of people in business, especially SMEs, they're very excited about their turnover. You're talking about, today I made sales of 10,000 or 20,000, 30,000. But as I'm speaking to you, obviously the turnover is not equal to the profit. Maybe you can expand a little bit about that.
If you're running a business, you've got to differentiate two things. There's a difference between your sales, your cash, and your profit.